Hello, I've got another 3 quick tricks of the trade for you. And this is number 1. It's a simple little block of wood. So when you're starting to carve early on, one of the main ways you might hold a relief pan like this would be with a C-clamp or G-clamp, like so, holding it over the side of the bench and gripping it with the jaws like that. Now the problem is, of course, that this metal is a lot harder than this wood, and so will mark the wood. So the little bit of wood here acts as a sort of little pad. But the thing is that quite often this little piece of wood, which you often might just pick up from the scrap box, is often harder than the wood you're carving. So you still end up with a bit of a mark in the carving. So what I do is I actually make myself some little pads with a cork covering. So here's a smaller one, there's a larger one here. So the cork goes against the carving, and that makes sure that nothing marks it. You can make them very easily with a cork tile and a bit of plywood. That's very simple, or a bit of leather even. The point is, you make some blocks and you put them somewhere special, and you keep those just for the carving. So I have a little box just of those. Now the other thing is, the second little tip I want to give you is that quite often, if you look at this piece of wood here, it's not flat. And quite often when you're carving, you find that the wood either changes shape or was never quite flat to begin with. So what I have is some wedges. And these, again, little wedges that I've made specially that I keep in a little box to one side. And they come out, and I would use the wedges to level off the wood. And the reason I do that is because if you clamp on both sides of this, you're liable to split the wood. So to keep the pressure equal, I'll put these wedges under there or under this one here, and that would make the wood quite flat. So I'd work that out. Bigger wedges like this, I will actually put under the bench legs, because sometimes I pull the bench around the workshop to get a better lighting or a different lighting. Then I find that the bench or the floor isn't quite level, so the bigger wedges might go under the bench feet. So wedges, very, very useful. And the third thing I want to mention is looking after the tools on the bench. Now you have your tools lined up, and if you line them up properly, of course, they're not bumping into each other. But one of the places they will bump into will be something like this. Now this is one of these clamps that sits on the bench, and there are lots of versions of this. We've used this in a different project, but you've seen several versions of these that I've used around the site. And it's this bit here that's quite dangerous. So this tool very easily can bump into this metal here, which is sitting on the bench, and end up blunting the tool or putting a ding in it. So what I do for all my bench mounted vices, I have a little pad like this. This one's got some non-slip stuff underneath. So this one will sit on here, like so. And then this protects, if this tool bumps up to the bottom of the vise, as it can happen when you're carving, it's still not going to damage it. So 3 good ideas. The pads, very good to protect the carving from clamps. Wedges, also to protect the carving when it's movable. And this sort of bottom pad here to protect the tools on the bench itself.